There's something I desperately want, and I want you to feel it deep in your heart, because right now, without you even realizing it, the woman in your life may be sending you subtle and very powerful signals, and you're going through them every day without understanding what she's trying to tell you. Stop for a moment and listen carefully. If you believe this woman is ready to open up to you emotionally and spiritually, this is the moment you begin to understand the truth. Continue reading to the end, because there is something important you need to hear before you take any further steps with her. Before we begin, take a moment to subscribe and like so you don't miss out on those psychological aspects that most men are unaware of. You're about to enter her inner world, a world she hides from most men, where her body language changes involuntarily. Her voice softens in ways she can't control, and she's drawn to you even when she tries to hide behind confidence, jokes, distance, or silence. Women don't always express their attraction directly. More often than not, they reveal it through subtle cracks in their emotional defenses. Through recurring patterns, they secretly hope the right man will notice. Perhaps, just perhaps, you are that man, but no one has taught you how to read their unspoken cues. A woman doesn't express herself easily. When she does, it's because something inside her is stirring. It might be a feeling of insecurity, desire, respect, curiosity, or a vague attraction she can't logically explain, and it's not about obvious physical signs. She only reveals her deepest energy to a man with a more tender and reserved side. What you are about to learn may feel like someone has finally lit a path for you in a room you've been walking in for years. So pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. Let go of the confusion you had before. Let go of the unnecessary thoughts. Let go of your assumptions that she loves you or that you might hurt her. I will teach you how to delve into the depths of a woman's psyche, the signals she wants you to notice, the silent signals she sends you. She doesn't want you to drift away, but rather to draw closer. Stay here, because this is where the truth begins. She wants you to get closer, but she won't say it explicitly. Instead, let the truth unfold gradually, hoping you'll come to know her without forcing her to reveal her innermost feelings. When a woman begins to give herself to you emotionally, intellectually, and even spiritually, her defenses don't suddenly crumble. They soften slowly, yielding and gently caressing your emotions. These sparks are what most men overlook because they expect outright confessions, bold actions, or radical changes. But psychological attraction doesn't announce itself. It manifests in whispers and arises spontaneously, unplanned. In her responses, she doesn't fully understand herself. When you listen to her attentively, you will understand her, especially when you're not listening to much from others. You can sense it in her gaze, which never leaves you, not even for a moment. It's not just out of desire, but out of emotional need. She starts thinking about your thoughts more than you think about yours. She draws you into conversations you've never had with anyone else. Without realizing it, she'll begin to mirror your energy, tone of voice, emotions, and rhythm. This isn't accidental. It's an emotional adaptation that happens unconsciously. When a woman starts to reveal a more tender side of herself, a side she usually hides, it's one of the strongest signs of her hidden desires. Her voice might lower slightly as she speaks. Her facial features might soften, and she might touch or stroke her hair, not as a gesture, but because she wants to feel her body open rather than closed off. Even her breathing around you might change, slowly and gently. These changes are not intentional. They stem from instinct. But there's something most men completely overlook. When a woman wants to win you over, she becomes more aware of your emotional state. She notices your mood swings, remembers small details you mentioned only once, looks at you tenderly without seeing it as a threat, and becomes emotionally attached to you. A woman will only invest in this type of relationship when she feels the man understands, supports, and believes in her. Another sign that she's trying to hide her vulnerability is its unexpected emergence. She might reveal fears she rarely discusses, admit to a mistake, or disclose a long hidden dream. Showing vulnerability is a way to open doors, allowing you to approach or withdraw without her noticing. Sometimes the strongest indication that a woman wants to give herself to you is her attempt to hide it. Her mind tells her to remain calm, to act naturally, and to maintain her dignity. But her behavior betrays her. The more she understands you, the deeper life you will experience, free from fear. When you enter the room, your energy shifts and your attention is drawn away from her, even if she doesn't appear interested. Her body language speaks volumes, and she doesn't say it aloud. Another subtle sign is her reaction when your attention shifts to someone else. She might not show any obvious jealousy, especially if she's trying to suppress her feelings, but you might notice subtle changes. Her voice might become softer or gentler. Her emotions might subside a little. She might withdraw for a moment, not to punish you, but to make sure that something inside her isn't distracting you. Women rarely experience this unless they are emotionally open with a man. It's not about control, but about creating an emotional bond that exceeds her expectations. She might also begin to seek your approval in ways that seem small but are very meaningful. When she becomes aware of your presence, she will change her appearance even if she doesn't approve. She'll watch your reactions closely, hoping to catch the slightest sign of your interest. When she deeply respects you, she'll be even more careful about how she presents herself. It's not about vanity. It's about commitment. A woman does this when she's attracted to a man and wants him to feel the same way. One of the most striking signs is her emotional openness. When she begins to trust her own honest thoughts, even about small things, it means her defenses are crumbling in a way that's hard to resist. She might share personal stories, talk about her fears, talk about dreams she rarely mentions, or reveal anxieties she usually hides. She allows you into the depths of her mind because there's something about you that gives you a sense of calm, truth, and security. This access isn't accidental. It's a quiet concession, an invitation into her inner world, and one of the clearest signs of emotional interest. There comes a time in a woman's inner experience when attraction ceases to be merely emotional and becomes instinctive. You won't notice it in her words, but rather in what she allows to happen around you. One of the most prominent signs is how comfortable she is and how she reveals different facets of her personality. She doesn't adhere to a single role. Some days she's kind and calm, and other days she's playful, sarcastic, or a little unpredictable. This isn't a contradiction, it's a close friendship. A woman only reveals herself when she truly wants a man to know her because she hopes he'll accept her as she is. You might also notice how she sits next to you. She doesn't see a reason to get too close. She's not close enough to make it obvious, but she's close enough to feel your presence. She sits next to you even when other seats are empty. She stands by you even when it's not necessary. She supports you while you're talking, even in the quietest of places. The intimacy is psychological. Women are drawn to men and feel safe with them. Even the way you laugh in their presence might change. It might become more spontaneous, easier, and less controlled. You laugh longer and more genuinely than you laugh with others. That genuine smile is a sign of her emotional openness. She's not just letting go of her inhibitions. She feels comfortable and relaxed in your company. And then there's that subtle challenge that often makes you feel not like you're being manipulated, but that she understands you. She asks you profound questions about your values, your boundaries, and your goals without judging you. She's exploring whether it's right for her to be emotionally intimate with you. When a woman is curious about your thinking rather than trying to figure it out, she's imagining how she'd feel being intimate with you. One often overlooked sign is influence. Not control, but influence. She listens to your advice and takes your feedback into account. She's experiencing what I mentioned. This level of openness is very personal. A woman only allows herself to be influenced by the man she secretly expects to have a greater place in her life. There's also a level where her emotions begin to take over faster than her reason, and she starts to show signs she's not even aware of. She might come to you for no apparent reason. She might create brief moments just to talk. She might feel close to you even if you don't ask for privacy. It's important to understand all of this. When a woman begins to become emotionally attached, she's at risk. She'll be watching your reactions. She'll notice whether you move slowly or quickly, whether you listen or resist, and whether you acknowledge her request or ignore it. If you don't notice these cues or she persists too much, she might quietly leave without explaining why. But if you are present, calm, and emotionally balanced, she'll feel more confident. It's not about deception or strong attraction. It's about understanding. It's about knowing when a woman can slowly reveal her inner world and responding with patience and respect. When she does, she doesn't feel pressured, she feels understood. And that understanding fuels desire in a way that is unparalleled. The strongest subtle signs often begin to appear when she gradually starts sharing details of her daily life with you in simple, regular ways that seem natural and easy. She sends you little updates, not because she needs permission or validation, but because she genuinely wants to connect with you emotionally. She shares her daily experiences, habits, hidden frustrations, small triumphs, and even fleeting moments that might seem insignificant to most people, but which feel important when she chooses to share them with you. These moments may appear simple on the surface, but they hold deep emotional significance. This is a subtle emotional connection that develops quietly. Without an explicit declaration or drawing attention, she slowly pulls you into her world, little by little, thread by thread. It happens subtly, but it's powerful and intentional. Another clear sign is how deeply she responds to the tone of your feelings. If you remain silent, she'll notice immediately. And if you sense something is bothering you, she'll understand it even before you say anything. She'll ask not out of politeness or courtesy, but because she genuinely cares about your well-being. Her feelings will be drawn to you, and a woman will only reveal this profound understanding of her own feelings to a man, even if she doesn't fully understand him yet. You'll also notice that you remember the most minute details about yourself, details you've never even mentioned to yourself before. Your favorite food, a childhood story, a stressful deadline, your exhaustion, and to be honest, a goal you mentioned last night. This isn't a coincidence. It's a matter of prioritizing your emotional needs. She clings to those parts of her life because you matter to her. You become someone who deserves attention, someone whose thoughts, feelings, and inner world you value deeply. Then there's a way to support her in quiet, gentle ways that might go unnoticed if she weren't paying attention. She encourages you when you doubt yourself, reminds you of your strengths when you forget them, supports you in conversations, and acknowledges your point of view without losing sight of her own. She is a constant emotional support, offering you comfort and reassurance without expecting anything in return. A woman doesn't do this for a temporary or replaceable man or a lifelong partner. She does this when she feels deeply attracted, when she wants to invest emotionally in something meaningful and real. One of the biggest signs of this is the way she reveals her vulnerable side and weaknesses. She tells you when she's worried, confesses when she feels insecure, hesitant, or afraid, and shares aspects of her personality that she usually hides from the world. This vulnerability is not a mistake or an accident. It is a sacrifice. A woman only reveals her full emotional potential when she expects a man to play a deeper role in her life, not merely to be present or to fulfill her desires. There comes a time when her quiet curiosity transforms into a deeper, more intense, and more instinctive desire. She may not admit it or mention it, but you'll sense it through her emotional attraction to you. When a woman wants to give herself to you, she begins to align her inner rhythm with yours. She follows the rhythm of your speech, your way of thinking, and your emotional energy. This isn't pretense. It's genuine harmony. She seeks intimacy without forcing it, thus creating harmony with her subconscious. You'll notice she's more patient with you than others. She listens attentively without distraction or complete focus. She lives her life consciously because something inside her secretly chooses you, even if she doesn't say those words, because something inside her chooses you, something inside her chooses you. Another subtle sign is her careful but effective way of protecting the relationship. She'll be selective about who she talks to about you. Not because she's hiding anything, but because she doesn't want others' opinions to influence the feelings you're building together. Some moments between you will remain private. She will be more careful to maintain the relationship and will become more aware of how her actions affect your bond. A woman will only remain committed if she feels in control. When she feels valued, she will be careful not to damage the growing intimacy between you. The clearest evidence of this is her willingness to allow you to influence her emotional world. She might not say it directly, but she'll start to value your perspective in ways you never expected. She'll ask for your opinion because it matters to her. She'll adjust her decisions slightly when your advice suits her. She'll be more open to growth because she'll see you as someone who adds strength to her life instead of draining it. This level of emotional openness is rare and doesn't happen by chance. It's an implicit expression of her trust in you regarding her emotional matters. When a woman reaches this level of trust, even if she appears outwardly interested, she begins to consider the depth of her relationship with you. These signs are not found by chance or coincidence.